One thing you have to remember when you're starting your YouTube journey is that no one cares about your videos. Your friends and family don't really care about your videos. Your audience certainly doesn't care. And the reason I say this is that when I started not too long ago, I was so nervous about what other people would think of me, especially those close to me. I was so afraid of the judgment from those that I hold in high regard. And then I started to make videos and I realized, hey, no one cares. Remember, people are busy with their own lives and don't really care what you're up to. But this isn't meant to be rude, it's just a fact of life. So many people get hung up on videos, or making videos, or documenting their lives because they're worried about what their mom, their dad, boss, friends, or even grandma will say about them. No one really cares. Everyone is doing their own thing and living their own lives. Take solace in that. The second category is the audience, and they don't care about your videos. In my first super cringy videos on this channel, I thought people would like to see vlog-style videos of my life in London or Paris. Alright, well, in typical fashion, my gear fails me. Those didn't work. But to segue, the way I think about it now is, for any audience, these videos aren't free. People pay with their time and attention, which is arguably a bigger currency in today's data-driven market. And so, in the early days, when you don't get the views, people won't watch simply because your video isn't good enough. Your video isn't providing them with any value. And as people's attention is so bifurcated across multiple channels, the one thing that holds true is that people want value, whether that's entertainment or education or perhaps inspiration. So if there is no value in the video, please remember, people will click off. And this is kind of liberating in the beginning because you shouldn't overthink it. No one will watch the first several videos anyway. You have to start off from a place of understanding these videos are going to be bad. And over time and repeatedly being bad, you will slowly get better. You will start to add value. And more importantly, you'll start to figure out your own niche. The next thing I wish I knew when I started off on YouTube was to have this mindset of being an archaeologist, not an architect. There's the archaeologist mindset, which promotes the idea of sort of following your gut, saying, okay, this idea or niche could be interesting. I'll make a few videos on this topic and see what happens. But then those videos either fly or die. You know, people either like the videos or they don't, or they're a headache for you to make and they're just not worth it. So then try another topic, try another niche, and you repeat this multiple times, and eventually, like exploring multiple dig sites, something good's gonna happen. Maybe you'll start getting comments, or you'll start getting 1,000 views instead of 3. That's kind of like finding a T-Rex skull in the desert. And now that you've found something interesting, you continue to dig and search, versus being an architect. You know, architects don't dig, or build at random sites. They have a plan, and they know exactly what they want to do based on their built blueprint. And importantly, only once they have all the info and feel comfortable will an architect start. So if you're in that camp as someone starting out and you don't know that much about making videos, chances are you'll plan and plan and plan like I did, but you won't make any actionable steps. And it's difficult to figure out your niche in advance doing it this way. So I highly recommend that most people focus on being an archaeologist, focus on making the videos and hitting publish. And over time, you'll start to get better. You'll figure out what works and what doesn't work. This was simply digging and making the videos and trying to focus on consistency more than anything. Trying to post twice per month while I work a full-time job and travel for work. Trust me, your niche will emerge over time. And in YouTube, there's economics, supply and demand. Now, the higher the supply of videos in a certain niche, then the higher the quality is needed to stand out. For example, there's a lot of hustle culture videos on YouTube now of like how to build an online business. And naturally, the quality of these videos is quite high, and yet there's still a high demand for it. So therefore, you kind of need to have a high quality production to even stand out. So if you're new to this and you don't have the equipment, it'll be difficult for you to stand out in this niche. So based on this, there's kind of 2 avenues to take going forward. 1, improving the quality of your videos. You could still want to make videos in this niche, and you'll have to increase your quality so that you sort of cross this tipping point so that more people will see them. But as economics dictates, it's difficult to stand out in a crowded market. Second option, don't compete in a saturated niche. The other option is to just simply not compete in a saturated market, but people see success where they niche down further into specific subcategories that are unique to them. And more importantly, a topic or niche that they have a unique advantage in. But I'll get to that later. The next tip I wish I knew is how to systematize or systemize how to systemize your videos. The process of thinking of a video idea, writing a script, reading or acting it on camera, then editing, creating the thumbnail, posting, reading the comments, good and bad, for feedback, then moving on to the next video is an absolutely exhausting way to build your YouTube channel. If you can think in systems, then you'll make it so much more easier for yourself. Think of yourself as a business. Now, businesses grow when they have a high level of systems and operations. Now, a lot of people view YouTube as a hobby and something fun to do. But if you want to view it as a scalable business that's income generating, then you have to implement systems. So if you want to build it like a business, then you have to think of what systems can you implement now that will make every subsequent video easier. And similar to the archaeologist theory, you can evolve these systems over time. They'll be bespoke to you, but systems will always be needed no matter which niche you're in. One system I have is a database of video ideas, future ones, and of course cataloged archives of old videos. You could even draft up thumbnails and ideas in advance before you make your videos. You might front load the work and design aesthetics of your channel up front so that it makes every subsequent thumbnail easier to make going forward because you have a certain design language established. Remember that batching tasks are vital in systems. You can write multiple scripts so that when you set up the cameras to film, you could film 3 or more videos in one take. And as annoying as it is, the audience in YouTube is so weighted towards thumbnails. Think of them as a billboard for your video, and they have to be aimed at the appropriate audience you're trying to win over. If no one's clicking on the video in the first place, you've already lost. It's hard to do, but if you can try and remember, come up with the title and thumbnail of your video before you've even created it, it helps filter down your focus as you make the video. Far too often it was a screenshot from one of the video stills with a title written over it. That never seemed to work. Now, only when I've created a nice title and thumbnail will I then start the process of video creation. This is just something that you learn over time. And think of your end audience. You know, what would they want to click on? So for instance, this video isn't for everyone, right? It's for people looking to start a YouTube channel. The other thing that's incredibly annoying is that the first 20 seconds are the most important. This is like the number 2 in importance after the thumbnail. As always, the YouTube analytics will show you the retention graph. Always within the first 20 seconds, there's like a massive drop off in viewership, which basically means that the amount of work you put up front in the first 20 seconds is seen by many more people than the rest of the video. Where by the end of it, sometimes there can be only like 5% left over sometimes. So if you're working on like super sexy titles and amazing transitions 7 minutes into your video, the chances are that most people won't see them. So try and front load the work up front so that people see a lot of effort went into this. Kind of catches them off guard up front, and they kind of stick around and want to watch the rest of the video. Gear doesn't matter. In the beginning, start using your phone. I have a whole video here or here on how to document your life, where I mention how powerful this tool is along with other systems I use. However, if you can level up your camera and most importantly your audio, these will pay dividends. People will sit through a 720p quality video with good audio. Bad audio is like nails on a chalkboard, and there's a sweet spot to this. Tech videos, for instance, require an insane amount of investment because audience want to see a high production value, versus lifestyle bloggers feel more natural when they're on an iPhone quality of camera, as high quality production can feel inauthentic or pre-produced. So there's a sweet spot to this. Now, I personally prefer to have a dedicated device for filming, which is why I use a Lumix S5 for all these videos, which is what I'm shooting on right now. And especially in the early days, it feels right that the better gear you have, the better the video, right? Wrong. The only thing that matters is the quality of the content rather than the camera production value. That should come down later in the road. So you got to find your unique advantage, which I guess is defined by something that's difficult for someone else to replicate. Now for me, I'm still first starting out, and my unfair advantage is the fact that I'm an American in Paris. There's not too many of us out there. This city and my perspectives on it appeal to a wider global audience. Similarly, let's say you've painstakingly built a business or rose through the corporate ranks. You can easily create videos on your experience and how you've achieved that, which will offer an insane amount of value to a larger audience. All of this helps you stand out in a saturated market. Now, Down the road, there's one more optional tip: outsourcing your editing. And I haven't even reached this step yet, mainly because I love the editing process. I find it quite meditative, kind of like building Legos piece by piece, like crafting something, layering in the titles and the music. But it's definitely a labor of love, and it takes up an inordinate amount of time. I hope that one day I can be in a place to find someone who can do this for me so that I can free myself to learn more, make more videos, document my life. If any of this helped you begin your journey, please leave a comment below, leave a like, and as always, I'll chat to you all soon. Peace. That was a lot. That was a lot to get through. I mean, there's a lot in that video. There's a lot to keep up with, you know. I hope it didn't look like I was reading from a teleprompter, even though I kind of was, but I needed to stay on track. Otherwise, it just would have been a rambling mess, kind of like I am right now.